everyone! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are. Thank you so much again for watching, for listening, for commenting, for subscribing. I am extremely grateful, extremely grateful. As you can see behind me, I have moved. I am not in the same apartment anymore in Chiang Mai. I'm living in a different area of Thailand in the south on one of the islands called Koh Phangan. And I'll speak a little bit more about the change and all that stuff in another video. But today, I wanted to speak to you guys about how INFJs, a lot of us, we deal with insomnia or sleep disruptions or disturbances quite often. And I just wanted to speak about why and how that happens and how I deal with it, because I know a lot of you have spoken to me about it, and I know that not getting enough sleep is such a humongous hassle, especially when you're doing creative work, especially when you're kind of trying to live your life. If you don't get enough sleep, it's tiring, it's annoying, you're not working at your full capacity, right? Now, why do we get a lot of insomnia or a lot of disturbances in our sleep? Not only do in general we have a lot of stress in our life because we kind of put it on ourselves, we are perfectionists, so everything has to be perfect. If it's not, then we kind of think about it over and over again and we want to make it perfect. And we think about all the different things that we're working on. If we're not perfect, then we want to make it perfect. So we're always kind of making lists in our head. How can I make this more perfect? How can I make this a little bit better? How can I make this a little bit less crazy? Right? So I was thinking in that manner. So our minds are always working on something or another. Not only the perfectionism thing, but also I think because we are a little sensitive and we care a lot about the opinions of others, and we're always kind of worried about rejection and all that other stuff. We always care about what all the other people are thinking about us. We're always thinking about it, right? So what does this person think of me? Does he hate me? I think he hates me. Why does he hate me? Why does he like me? La la la, right? And so we're always thinking about all that stuff, and that causes a lot of our mind to keep on working. Now, a lot of it has to do with the fact that when we're kind of thinking and we're kind of going through all of these motions, it's hard for us to switch our brain off. We'll be thinking and we'll be thinking and we'll be thinking, and we won't stop, and we won't be able to stop actually. Like we want to stop. I want to stop thinking. I want to stop thinking about all this crap that is in my head, but it's hard, right? It is as if like there is this motor running in my head and just keeps on running over and over and over again like an Energizer bunny, and I just can't stop it. I want to stop it. I really do. And I wish there was like on and off button somewhere, but there isn't. There is no freaking switch for us, for our heads, for our minds, for our thoughts. And if we had that switch, we would have no issues falling asleep. But if we don't, we have to figure out other ways to switch off our minds, switch off all of that mad thinking, switch off all of that craziness, and then hopefully get some rest so we can do it over again the next day, yeah? One of the ways I actually do it, and I find this so useful for me, and that's the reason I really want to share this with you guys, is I do a body scan meditation before I fall asleep. So I'll be lying in bed and I'll have someone kind of guiding me through a very simple body scan meditation where I kind of go through each part of my body. So I start with my toes and then I move upward, to my knees, to my thighs, to my stomach and all that stuff, and kind of go through our bodies little by little, kind of paying attention to it. And what that does, at least for me, is that when I stop thinking about all that crap that's going on in my head and start paying attention to parts of my body, all of a sudden my mind has something else to focus on. And a lot of our body parts we don't hate, we don't have much to say about them. Like my toes, I don't really think about them much. There's not much to say about them. So my mind stops working as hard and stops thinking about all of that stuff and starts focusing on different body parts, and that causes me to kind of be relaxed enough to drop into REM sleep or drop into non-REM sleep or drop into sleep in general, right? And I've noticed that when I do these body scan meditations, before them, my mind's going to be whirring at like a crazy hurricane speed, right? This and that. What am I going to do tomorrow? Where am I going to go tomorrow? How is my work going to go? What's my to-do list say? What am I supposed to be doing right now? Maybe I should do a little bit more work before I go to sleep. All of that stuff, like mad thoughts, right? But as soon as I start doing a body scan meditation, I notice that my body really calms down. My mind really calms down. My heart, which has been beating really fast usually, just relaxes. It actually stops beating so fast, and I can feel This amazing calm descending over my body, over my mind. And a lot of times before I'm even done the whole guiding session, I fall asleep. And I love that because I'll wake up in the morning and I'll notice that, I actually don't remember the last bit of that body scan meditation guiding system. Like, I don't actually remember them going through my heart or going through my throat and all that stuff because I fell asleep before that. And it's so amazing. Otherwise, literally, I'll be sitting in bed or lying in bed for 2, 3 hours trying to fall asleep and not able to fall asleep. I really have such a hard time with it. Not only that, but if I don't do a body scan meditation before I fall asleep, I'll wake up in the middle of the night, randomly out of the blue, at usually like 1 or 2 a.m. And then it'll take me an hour and a half, 2 hours again to fall asleep. And that again is a big pain in the ass because I hate that. I'm awake in the middle of the night. I don't want to do any work. Don't want to be on Facebook. I don't want to do all that crap. I actually want to sleep. So I am awake and ready for the next day. I have a long day ahead of me and I want to be prepared for it. Instead, I'm sitting and trying to count sheep or doing stupid things like that don't really work. So again, if I do wake up in the middle of the night, a lot of times it doesn't happen, but if I do, then I'll do again another body scan meditation, and before the end of it, always I've fallen asleep. So I hope this helps you guys, yeah? I don't know if you guys have issues with insomnia. I know because my mind is, I'm a thinker, I'm an analyzer, I'm always, you know, just going through all these random thoughts. A lot of times that's the reason I write them down. I love journaling for that specific reason because I have all these things in my head and I need to put them down on paper. Otherwise, I'm always thinking about them, and never able to get over it, right? And so journaling helps a lot as well. If you are a journaler, of course, a lot of people don't like writing stuff down. Especially INFJs, we are secretive and we don't like putting our stuff down on paper because we're afraid someone might read it. So if you don't like that, then don't do that, obviously. Do the body scan meditation. Another thing that I really like for falling asleep is obviously having a good meal before I fall asleep. As I said, and I've said this before, INFJs always forget to have food. We forget to eat, we forget to sleep, we forget to drink water. And so one of my really important rituals before I fall asleep is to have a good filling meal before I fall asleep. Because I know if I'm hungry, if my stomach's growling, if I'm not full, then I know I won't be able to fall asleep. My stomach's going to be talking to me the whole night. And if I do fall asleep, it's going to be really, really light sleep and I'll wake up over and over again. So I always make sure I have like a hearty soup or a stew or a pasta meal or something really filling before I fall asleep. And I really need that because it grounds me, and the fuller my belly is, the easier it is for me to fall asleep. Now, that might not be the case for you, but if you are an INFJ who forgets to eat, I do recommend that you make sure that you eat properly before you fall asleep. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to fall asleep. I know this from experience of 20 more years. Like, I know if I don't have a good meal before I fall asleep, I'll be hungry the whole night. I'll be thinking about food the whole night, and funnily enough, I'll be dreaming about food the whole night. I'll have all these dreams about dal and this and that, cow soy, and I'll be like thinking about food the whole night. And a lot of my dreams end up being me eating food. And so I'll wake up, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so hungry. And I'll fall asleep. If I do, I'll dream about food the whole night, which is kind of funny. So that's how I think of it. That's what I think of insomnia. It's something that we can't prevent, I don't think, because we are such major analyzers. We spend so much time in our heads. And so I know that's part of our life. I've kind of accepted it. I kind of deal with it as I can, day to day. And as I said, one of the main ways I deal with it is using a body scan meditation. I don't know how you guys do with it. I love to hear from you guys. I hope that this new background is not too disruptive. It is in my bedroom, in my little bungalow here, a bamboo bungalow. It's beautiful. I don't have a lot of other space to kind of record my stuff, so hopefully this is not too disruptive. Again, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you guys have any suggestions for future videos on INFJs or anything else, let me know. I'd love to talk about different stuff that you're interested in. And I'll see you guys the next time around. Bye for now.